Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams to all of you. Welcome to this program. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki jai, Nitai Chaitanya ki jai, Parshuram Bhagwan ki jai, Vaman Dev ki jai, Giri Govardhan ki jai. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nithi Namine. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. We are doing chapter number 18, conclusion, the perfection of renunciation, and today's verse is 72nd verse from the chapter number 18. Kachid yetachrutam partha tvaikagrena chetasa kachid ajnana sammohaha pranashtaste dhananjaya. O son of Pritha, O conqueror of wealth, it have you heard this with an attentive mind? And your ignorance and illusion is now dispelled. So this is Lord Shri Krishna asking Arjuna for the final last time in Bhagavad Gita if he carefully heard Bhagavad Gita or not. So we have been hearing Bhagavad Gita from the last 2 years. So it's the same thing. Lord Shri Krishna asking Arjuna, Lord Shri Krishna asking all of us, all of you, have you heard this Bhagavad Gita with an attentive mind? Okay, did you hear this properly? Prabhupada translated it to attentive mind. So here it says, Kachit yetat shrutam partha. It says, Tvai ekagrena. You see, the word ekagra is being used. Ekagra means attentively. Have you attentively heard this? So it's so important that we attentively hear Bhagavad Gita, okay? Because every point is important. So every verse has a significance. In Bhagavad Gita, every chapter has got a significance. It's not even verse, not even chapter. Every syllable, every word, every syllable, everything is important. It's very interesting, you see. So there is a verse, I remember. So it says, Kshetrajnam cha mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. So just with that word cha, Kshetrajnam cha mam vidhi, just with the word syllable cha, the complete meaning changes. It says, I am also the knower. That means there are two knowers. Just with one syllable, so much of meaning can come. So every syllable in Bhagavad Gita shloka is important. Every shloka is important. Srila Prabhupada says, every verse is very important. One verse is enough for us to go back to Godhead. You can take just one verse, just follow that verse in your life, and that's enough. Okay? Every verse is very important. Bhagavad Gita, okay? That's what Krishna is saying here. Have you heard this with an attentive mind? There have been a lot of topics discussed in Bhagavad Gita. We discussed it over the last 2 years, but Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita in a matter of 1 hour or so to Arjuna. So that was so quick. So he's asking, have you attentively heard this? And then the second point is, Kachit Ajnana Sammoha Pranashtaste. Ajnana and Sammoha, two words have been used here. The first word is Ajnana. Ajnana means ignorance. Sammoha. So Arjuna was in illusion. Okay, so he was under the illusion that he is the body. So we are all under the same category. So this Bhagavad Gita is a dramatic presentation. Just try to understand what is Bhagavad Gita, okay? Bhagavad Gita is the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Arjuna and to all the living entities. Arjuna is representing a living entity. He's not having the defects of a living entity. Please mind that. Arjuna is the Nitya Parshada, eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. He doesn't get any kind of ignorance or illusion, but he plays the part as if he is under ignorance. It's a dramatic presentation for all of us to understand this point. So what is the point in which, Lord Krishna is trying to say us? You see, if you want to teach somebody, there are many ways of teaching. One way of teaching is like, make them sit down, start lecturing. Okay? But that says, there is a scientific research that says that if you just give a talk or if you just hear a talk, the effective reception is only 20%. The knowledge that you get from that is only 20%. Okay? Better than that is actively trying to hear. Maybe like, for example, engaging in the questions, talking, discussion, for example. Discussion is more active. Asking question and answers, more interactive, right? It's not like a one-way thing. See, Krishna and Arjuna, there are question and answers. So Arjuna is starting with a question. And Krishna is asking a question at the end. Have you understood everything? Right? So Krishna is the spiritual master. He's playing the role of a spiritual master. And a spiritual master is supposed to ask questions. And Lord Krishna is ready to repeat in case Arjuna did not get it. So Krishna is ready to even repeat it again if Krishna feels that Arjuna did not get this, or if Arjuna is saying something, he's asking, did you understand this? If Arjuna is going to say, no, yeah, I got it, but I think I have a question on this, Lord Krishna is ready to answer that. Okay? So that's the beautiful part about it. So that's the part. And anybody who hears this Bhagavad Gita from a bona fide spiritual master like Krishna or his representative, they will find that his ignorance or her ignorance will be dispelled. So this is the formula. The formula is, we must either hear it from Krishna, which is not possible for us, or we should hear from his representative, from a bona fide spiritual disciplic succession, his representative. It's not an ordinary book that anybody can start talking about it, okay? So what happens is, we see that a lot of people, they start speaking about Bhagavad Gita. They say, okay, we understand what Bhagavad Gita says. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying this, Krishna is saying that, and they'll start all their interpretations, speculations, masala, whatever they think is wisdom in life. They just say, you see, Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita said this. We get so many WhatsApp forwards like that, right? Not only that, there's so many people who have written commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, but none of them is actually Bhagavad Gita. It is their Gita. Okay? So there's a difference. Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna and it is Krishna's message. But if we tamper the message, then it is no longer Bhagavad Gita. So that is why Srila Prabhupada wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is. So when we hear from a bona fide disciplic succession, we hear the message as it is. There's no tampering, there's no speculation, there is no interpretation. There's nothing like, we take these verses, we don't take these verses. There are some people who do that. Okay, we don't believe in these verses of Bhagavad Gita. We believe only these verses. Pick. That's like the half hen logic. Half hen logic is, there was a father who gave a hen to two sons, that whatever eggs that come from this hen, you divide it into two. So they're very intelligent. Okay, what they did, so they thought, why should we do this? So one of the brothers said, I'll take the second half, you take the first half. So backside part which gives the egg is mine. Second part which you have to feed is yours. And they were fighting. So this is called the half hen logic, okay? Half hen logic doesn't work in Bhagavad Gita. You can't delete some shlokas. You can't interpret some shlokas and say, okay, I don't accept this, but I accept this. So this is how people are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. We can't understand Bhagavad Gita like that. I was trying to come up with a summary of Bhagavad Gita in 3 shlokas. Okay? I thought about it and I tried to come up with the summary of Bhagavad Gita in 3 shlokas. 3 shlokas. 3 key points. How many of you want to hear that? Okay, 3 key points of Bhagavad Gita. Here is the first one. The first one says that the God is origin of everything. This 10.8 Bhagavad Gita, okay? I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So the summary of this verse is that Lord Krishna is saying that he is the source of everything and everyone. There is nobody exception to that. You cannot say that, okay, this person is excluded. This demigod is excluded. This sage is excluded. This Babaji is excluded. No. Krishna is the source of everyone. That's the point number 1. God is the source of everyone. So this explains us about the position of God. Second shloka. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. This is 15.7 Bhagavad Gita. So the important point of this verse is that we are all part and parcel of God. The living entities are eternal fragmental parts of God. We are all part and parcel of God. The first position, Krishna said that everything emanates from him. And he is the source of all the material and the spiritual worlds. Second thing, he's saying that every living entity, that is all of you and me, all of us, we are all parts and parcels of Lord Sri Krishna. That's the point number 2. So now that we understand that God is everything, we are part and parcel of God, what is our duty? What is it that we are supposed to do next? So that's explained in the 3rd verse here. Let's see what's the 3rd verse that I picked, okay? The 3rd verse says, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this, because you are my dear friend. It says, because you are my very dear friend. 18.65. How clear is that? What is the message that Krishna is giving from this 3rd verse? Let me repeat this again. It's all about our purpose, or what is our life's purpose? What is our spiritual purpose? What are we supposed to be doing? Here is the verse. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this, because you are my very dear friend. Dear devotees, this is the summary of Bhagavad Gita, okay? What's the summary of Bhagavad Gita? 3 points. God is everything. Krishna is everything. Point number 2. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. So being the part and parcel of Krishna, the part has to serve the whole. That's the rule. Just like the finger has to serve the body. My hand has to serve my body, right? If you take, for example, a car, if there is a wheel inside the car, the wheel is meant to serve the car. Take the example of a honey bee, the worker bee. The worker bee is going out every day bringing honey to the honeycomb. He doesn't ask, what am I going to do with the honey? Who is going to use the honey? Am I going to drink the honey? No. It just does the duty. Get the honey, put it in the honeycomb. You see, that's the purpose. So our purpose is, being the fragmental part of Krishna, we have to serve him. That's the final instruction. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Three things. Always think of Krishna. Become a devotee and pay obeisances unto him. Three things. Always serve Krishna. So simply this. Okay, the constitutional position is this. You see, liberation, the definition of liberation, a lot of people have their own definitions, but they are their definitions. But the definition that we pick is from Srimad Bhagavatam. The definition is, Muktir hitva anyatha swarupena avastitihi. Mukti, liberation, means to be situated in one's constitutional position. What is that constitutional position of a living entity? This is the constitutional position. What is the position of a living entity? The living entity is not equal to God, not at all. Very far from it. Arjuna is not equal to Krishna. That's not the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Completely wrong. Living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. We are all fragmental parts of Krishna, as explained by Krishna. We cannot interpret it. We cannot change it as we want. Okay? We are part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna wants us to become a devotee, to serve him, to offer him whatever we get. He wants us to give it to him. And then his promise is, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. His promise is that he will deliver us from all the sin. So the moment we understand this, when we establish ourselves in our constitutional position to serve the Lord unconditionally, that is called liberation. So this is the message of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is asking, have you heard it properly? So let me ask you, have you heard it properly? Have you attentively heard this? And
Still would like to hear again, Prabhuji.
absolutely. We would like to hear it again and again. Absolutely, we'd like to hear it again and again, right? Because this Bhagavad Gita is transcendental, right? It is always fresh. It's never possible that anybody can say, okay, I've heard Bhagavad Gita now. I think it's done. I'm done. I've heard Bhagavad Gita. It's like, I went to the yoga camp, you see, 11 days, they gave me detox food, and that's it. I'm done with yoga forever. Okay, I'm fit forever. I can eat anything. I can do anything. I'm finished. I'm the fittest person on the earth. Okay, that's a material thing. But here we are talking about a spiritual subject. Okay, the comparison is also right, not right. This is Bhagavad Gita. At any point of time, it is not possible for anyone to say that I understood Bhagavad Gita. Okay, I got it. So we are telling whatever Acharyas have said, right? So whatever Acharyas has said, we are trying to repeat, okay? And whatever Krishna said, the Acharyas have understood it. They understand it. I'm not claiming that I understand it, okay? Because it's the pure devotee who understands Bhagavad Gita. It's not an ordinary mortal. It's not possible to understand what is Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. It is understood by bhakti. You need to have pure devotional service, okay? Yes, Mataji, I got it. So with our limited senses, we may understand a little bit, but if you want to really understand Bhagavad Gita as it is, the first thing that we need is devotional service. That is, like, we need to have pure devotional service. Bhaktya mama vijanati. It's not logic. It's not with logic that we can understand Bhagavad Gita. We can understand Bhagavad Gita with love. The only thing that we need is love for the Supreme Lord, love for Krishna. If we have that, then we understand, okay? Every single verse is so clear. And Krishna is saying that I am the origin of everything. When we are in pure devotional service, we understand that. If we are not, the mental speculator, he will never understand that. He will try to come up with some theory. Okay, maybe Krishna is saying, I'm source of everything. Maybe it's not him. Maybe it's, let's start like that. Okay, we should not get into that. Our focus is clear. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Okay, with love, with devotional service, we understand Bhagavad Gita. So now that we understand, what should we do? We should pass this message on to others. First you understand, then you pass this message to others. If you can't, if you have to implement it, and you have to explain others also this message, because Krishna, he wants to reclaim all the souls back to Godhead. If you want to really help somebody, this is the ultimate benefit for the human society. It's like this, right? There was a small kid who was lost in a fair, okay? And then there was an uncle who found this boy, and then he tried to give him food, but the boy is still crying. But then he took him home. He gave him clothes, still crying. Many days, still crying. So he contacted the police station. He contacted the parents. He took the boy to the parents. Boy is happy now. This is our position, okay? See, social service is like feeding food. You can feed food to that boy, but tell me something, is he going to be happy just by being not hungry? Is that enough? I'm saying, yes, of course, he must eat. But is that enough? A person who is lost, he will cry more. He was weak. He will eat. He'll get energy nicely. And he'll shout and loudly cry next. Where's my father? Where's my mother? So the real help is to take that boy and surrender to the parents. So that is Bhagavad Gita. Go to the eternal Father. So this is the message that we have to give to everybody. You have missed this. You are like the lost child of your father. Here is your father. And then that person becomes completely, eternally happy, satisfied. All the ignorance dispelled. Correct? So this is the final help that you can do, the ultimate help that you can do. So that's what we are trying to do here, right? What we are trying to do, we are trying to help ourselves first. First, let's try to help ourselves. Let's try to understand Bhagavad Gita, implement it faithfully. Krishna's instructions are so simple. Always think of me, become my devotee, right? Right. So that's so interesting. So Arjuna is going to give his reaction in the next verse. So in the next verse, we are going to hear what is it that Arjuna is going to say. So this is like the final question by Krishna. Have you heard this with an attentive mind? Have your ignorance and illusions been dispelled? Okay, now we are going to hear from Arjuna. What is he going to say? That we will hear tomorrow. So, but I'll tell you something very interesting. I thought I'll share this. See, at the end of a spiritual discourse, we are hearing a spiritual discourse from Lord Krishna or from his representatives. What's the reaction? The similar situation, Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadeva Goswami, right? Parikshit Maharaj, he asked Shukadeva Goswami, 7 days to die. And so please tell me, what is it that I have to do? I just have 7 days to die. And what did Shukadeva Goswami say? He spoke the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. After speaking the entire Bhagavatam, he asked, is that clear now? Is there anything that you want me to repeat? Is there anything that you want me to repeat? Have you heard properly? So what is Parikshit's reaction? Parikshit said this, I have now achieved the purpose of my life. Because a great and a merciful soul like you has shown such kindness to me. You have personally spoken to me this narration of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, who is without beginning and end. I do not consider it at all amazing that great souls such as yourself, whose minds are always absorbed in the infallible personality of Godhead, show mercy to the foolish conditioned souls, tormented as we are by the problems of material life. You have revealed to me that which is most auspicious, the supreme personal feature of the Lord. I am now fixed in knowledge and self-realization, and my ignorance has been eradicated. So these were like the final statements made by Parikshit Maharaj. I mean, it's just an indication of how we should be feeling very thankful for Bhagavad Gita. We should feel so thankful for this Bhagavad Gita. The classes and the book by Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita as it is. And you see, Shukadeva Goswami was giving this lecture to Parikshit Maharaj, and Parikshit Maharaj is feeling so grateful. And here, Lord Sri Krishna personally is giving us this knowledge. Can you feel that? Lord Sri Krishna is personally giving you this knowledge. It is his words that we are repeating. I mean, how much grateful we must be to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To put in Parikshit words that, we are like the conditioned souls tormented by the problems of material life. That's our position. What's our position? Are we like enjoying this material world here? Are we enjoying? What do you think? We're suffering here, isn't it? We're tormented by problems here. And it's by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? We are all like the foolish conditioned souls, aren't we? Why we're calling it foolish? Because we think we know, but we don't know. Arjuna was playing that part, right? He was saying, Krishna, I shall not fight. The reason is this. And then Krishna said, you're talking like a wise man, but wise men don't behave like this. So indirectly he said, Arjuna, you are a fool. Indirectly. And all of us, Arjuna is actually representing us. Okay? He's representing us. So first of all, we should accept that, yes, I'm a fool. Om ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya. We start with that. I was a fool who was in complete ignorance. And the spiritual master opened my eyes. This should be our mood. This should be our mindset. Not that, yeah, I already know everything. But we think like that. But Krishna is bringing us back to our position that first accept that you're foolish. You don't know. What is the thing? Arjuna is thinking that he knows, but he doesn't. But after Krishna said everything, the entire Bhagavad Gita, now he is clear. So it can become only clear when we hear attentively, right? We have to hear attentively, right? So that's when we understand this Bhagavad Gita. So then when we understand Bhagavad Gita, we start to execute the instructions of Krishna to become a devotee, to always think of Krishna. And when we execute that instruction, we become liberated. We come to our constitutional position, eternal constitutional position, and we become liberated forever from this cycle of birth and death. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask, or if you want to add something, you can add. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You summarized these in three slokas, no? And how does the Chatushloki plays a role? I would like to know, Prabhuji.
Chatushloki is also similar. I took one of the verses from Chatushloki. It's actually, Chatushloki is also the same. Chatushloki is also saying the same things, okay? Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. There are three things. Sambandha means, first of all, to understand the position of the Lord. What's my relationship with the Lord? And what is it that I'm supposed to do to revive this relationship? That is, first of all, to understand that the Lord is supreme. Second thing, to understand what's my position, that I am part and parcel of Krishna. Third thing, to engage in devotional service. Same thing.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you were talking about 3 shlokas. One is 10.8, 15.7,
10.8, 15.7,
15.7. What is the third one?
18.65.
Okay, 18.65. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I just when you were taking the class, Parishit Maharaj knew he had 7 days. We don't even know if he has 7 minutes. So I know, and and Sukhdev Swami told him 1 minute is also enough. So for moksha. So that if you, only when we work towards it can that in old age you never know, like you have mucus and piles, you'll be able to take the name. That for that moment to come, we have to practice. We have to practice and practice. Like
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Actually, there was a question when you said Parikshit Maharaj, ke I have 7 days. So how if he was knowing, but that question was for us actually, for everybody. Ke a Jivatma in 7 days, how can get moksha? Then Parikshit Maharaj said, very good. He is happy ke you are 7 days. You are lucky. So his mean that you are lucky. You have 7 days. But moksha you can get in 1 second. So there is a hidden message. Ke moksha we can get in 1 second. Parikshit Maharaj was knowing 7 days, but we don't know we have 7 days. Is a 1 second also we don't know whether I have or not. For that purpose, we should surrender to Krishna. That is a hidden message from the Goswami actually.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for adding that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes.
And Sukdev Goswami, when the this who written Bhagavatam? दिमाग से निकल गया ये शास्त्र लिखते क्या नाम है व्यासदेव जी send his disciples to give 4. So only first shloka make mad Sukdev Goswami, where that explained that Putna was killed and Prabhu Bhagavan gave him mother's gati. So that has hit because he was a Mayavadi. From there he becomes bhakti actually. He started bhakti. That is the Lord who can give who come to kill him, and he has given that mother Yoni. So that is mother. He thought she is mother. So that has made Bhaktu Shukdev Goswami.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yeah, wonderful verse. Yeah.
Wonderful verse. All 4 are wonderful. 4 are wonderful actually. 4 are wonderful. Whole Bhagavatam you can explanation of you can say 4 wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for adding that. So Prabhu is talking about the verse where it says, undoubtedly, Lord Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. Otherwise, how he could have killed Putana at such a young age? Okay. And then he awarded the position of a mother in the eternal spiritual world for a person who has come to kill him. So how unlimitedly merciful the Supreme Lord is. So that verse Shukadeva Goswami heard, and he transformed from being an impersonalist to a devotee. So thank you, Prabhuji. Very wonderful.
I can add one more point which I had from Guru Maharaj class actually. That Gaurang Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga is more merciful than Krishna. Why? I was reading other day, CC is a kind of Antalila. So in that Rudra Pratap's son comes to meet Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not allow Rudra Pratap to come and see him, but he allows his son to come and see him. when Mahaprabhu, that son comes, Mahaprabhu embraced him. And he turns into transcendental, he starts like a fully, mother, he's traveling, he became a pure devotee like that when Mahaprabhu touched him. And in that class is when Rudra, when he went back to palace, so he embraced, you are so lucky you had a darshan of Mahaprabhu embraced you, and he embraced his son. With that potency of the Mahaprabhu, he became a kind of a transcendental person, Rudra Pratap actually. So that is the merciful of Mahaprabhu in this kind of period. Okay, he's so merciful like that way. Okay, just by touch, for praying to Krishna, you need so many things, so many rules, everything is there. But to Mahaprabhu, there is no rule. Just like a touchstone. He touched Rudra Pratap's son and he became a kind of transcendental person actually. That is the love of Krishna, he got it actually. That is the kind of Mahaprabhu's mercy in Kali Yuga. So we should kind of, Mahaprabhu is, we should pray Mahaprabhu with Krishna actually. That is if we want to get Krishna's love actually. Sorry, Prabhu, I taken little bit.
Jai, Jai. No, not at all. Thank you so much. Such a wonderful conclusion. This is so beautiful. This is so beautiful, actually. Thank you so much for adding these points. So beautiful point, Prabhu. So Prabhu is saying, quoting from Guru Maharaj's class, that there was one king called King Pratap Rudra who wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't give him audience because he was like even though he was like a pure devotee, thinking of him like a materialistic person being a king, he didn't give him audience directly. But then he allowed his son, and then King Pratap Rudra's son was embraced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then this Pratap Rudra embraced, and he got the love of Godhead. So the point is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful than Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is telling, be my devotee, always think of me, become my devotee. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is himself demonstrating. I was speaking about the learning, right? The scientific process of learning. So the first thing is dramatic presentation. I said that Krishna and Arjuna are showing one situation that there is a war now, and now in the war field, Arjuna is asking questions and Krishna is giving answers. So that's a dramatic presentation. And then, scientific research says, if you want to learn more, better, the best is demonstration. So to demonstrate what Krishna is saying, that is, always think of me, become my devotee. Who is going to demonstrate that for us? Okay. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Krishna himself, has mercifully taken the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, non-different, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Krishna, and in Radharani's body, and then he's exhibiting the love of Krishna, and he's showing us what it exactly means when Krishna says, always think of me and become my devotee. He's showing it to us. So that's like clear and more effective. So that's the mercy of the Supreme Lord. That's the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us that mercy, and he's showing us exactly like what we are supposed to be doing, how we are supposed to be doing the devotional service. Okay, wonderful, amazing, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees.